We've all had some rough times, jobless, broke, spending days filled with hopelessness and loneliness. And during those times, your imagination starts working at full capacity. You rewatch La Casa de Papel and start focusing more on the technical side of the heist, the programs they use, the tricks they pull, and who knows, it might actually work with you. Or better yet, you start scanning the sidewalks or peeking between the bushes at night, hoping to spot that black duffel bag full of cash you've always dreamed about. You'd be the luckiest MF alive if either plan actually worked. But wait a minute. They say everything that isn't a sea or river eventually runs dry. So that cash in the bag, if you ever found it, would run out. Even the bank money you magically got your hands on would eventually disappear. But what if I told you that there was a guy who stumbled upon a sea of cash that didn't stop? It's an evergreen source of money that seemed endless? Well, buckle up because today's story is a wild mix of luck and regret, one you will probably never forget. Hey, do you know that each time you hit the like or subscribe buttons, an angel gets his wings? Well, it's not completely true, but seriously, if you like the video, you know what to do. It was 2011, and Dan was an average Australian bartender. Loves beer and makes a killer espresso martini. Dan had zero intentions of becoming a bank hacker. He's not a genius. He didn't even understand why minutes in the washing machine feel longer than the actual minutes. Honestly, me neither. Anyway, one night, while working his usual shift at the bar, Dan got a little too friendly with the whiskey bottle. A few shots later, he was happily pouring free drinks for everyone. The party was great until his boss got on. And when the night ended, his boss confronted him with the damage. 58 shots on the house? Furious, the boss told Dan he had to pay it all back. Dan, still half drunk and confused, pulled out his debit card and tapped it on the card reader, but nothing happened. Insufficient funds. The boss was fuming. He told Dan,
I don't care how you do it, but tomorrow I want my money back or you're fired.
It was around 2 a.m. when Dan stumbled out of the bar. The streets were empty and quiet. He was drunk, miserable, muttering curses under his breath. Then he spotted an ATM glowing on the other side of the street. He remembered his saving account. It had $20 in it. He said, "Okay, I'll just transfer the $20 to my card and pay that jerk something at least." Dan walked up to the ATM, inserted his card, and started the transfer. But he was drunk, so instead of typing 10 after the 2, he typed 2 zeros, meaning he accidentally transferred $200 instead of 20. He hits OK, and a few seconds later, his credit card balance showed $200. Dan blinked. Wait, what? Free money? He laughed and said, maybe it's the ATM's way of compensating for this bad day. He pocketed the card and went home for a deep, drunken sleep. The next morning, he went back to the work, paid his boss what he should, and apologized for being an idiot the night before. But while wiping the glasses at the bar, he couldn't stop thinking about that ATM. What the heck just happened the last night? I didn't have the $200 in my saving account, yet the ATM accepted the transfer. He muttered, how was that even possible? That night, curiosity got the best of him. At exactly 2 a.m., he returned to the same ATM. This time, he transferred $500 to the credit card. It's money he didn't actually have in his saving account. And guess what? It worked again. So Dan was stunned. He repeated the process again and again and again, and that night alone, he walked away with $25,000. That was almost an annual salary in just an hour. From that night on, every time he finished the work, he goes straight to that ATM, and in just 4 months, he had withdrawn, wait for it, $1.6 million. Yes, my friend, you heard it right. $1.6 million. His tiny apartment was now filled with cash. You may think that, but how did that happen? Well, here's how the glitch worked technically. The ATM Dan used was offline at night. It wasn't instantly connected to the central bank servers. This happened between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock a.m. each night during the scheduled maintenance. And during that offline window, balance updates were not synchronized in real time. So, if you transferred money from one account to another, the system didn't check immediately whether the funds existed or not. So, according to the bank system, all was even Steven. Well, back to the story. Dan started living the dream. New Lamborghini, real estate investments, Swiss watch to his friends, and maybe a little too much confidence in his life choices. He was happy, his friends were happy, and most probably God was happy too, because Dan donated big chunks to charities all over Australia. But none of them, including the last mate, knows how illegal that was. So Dan got away with the money and lived happily ever after. Oh yeah? Well, if you think life would be that forgiving, then it's time to stop scrolling down your phone and get a glimpse of how this world actually works. There will always be a twist. The dream didn't last. His conscience kicked in. The money felt wrong, like a party where everyone else knew the punchline except you. For 3 years, Dan was haunted by guilt and terrified the law would eventually come knocking on his door. He started waking up at night in panic, sleeping under the bed in case police busted while he's sleeping. He could not take it anymore, so Dan did something few would do. He walked into the police station and told them everything. He didn't get a movie ending. He got a court case, a conviction, and time behind bars. But luck smiled on him one last time. The court sentenced him to just 1 year in prison because investigators couldn't fully explain how the glitch worked, and there wasn't enough evidence to prove the full extent of what he had done. So what is the takeaway? Well, Dan didn't plan to be rich. He didn't plan to be a criminal too. He just existed near the right ATM at the right time. And that, my friend, was both hilarious and terrifying. So next time you see an ATM spitting out more cash than it should, remember, luck sometimes comes with handcuffs. And if that doesn't scare you enough to walk away, then go ahead, take your chances. Just remember one thing, the ATM didn't make a man in this story. It simply revealed one.